I will probably begin with saying that the Russian scientists did the right thing when they paid attention to the fact that environmentalists, specialists from around the world, have noted the ecological dangers of this new shale gas extraction technology, which are mainly connected with applying hydraulic fracturing, known by the American word fracking. What it actually is hydraulic crushing. There is a major difference between the two processes. The situation is similar to the one of the nuclear energy development in the past. Also, on the territory of Ukraine, when during the initial stages of the development process, close attention wasn't paid to how the nuclear power plants, as an extremely complex system, would interact with the geological environment. The 90% recipient of all the technogenic influence and changes that such influence brings along. What is fracking actually? What is hydraulic fracturing in these technologies? In order to make it more clear, I would like to go graphic and show you this little drawing, outlining the scheme of drilling shale gas wells, including those wells that reach below traditional oil and gas deposits in order to extract occluded shale gas, and also the ones that are meant to extract the sandstone or clay shale gas. We have a vertical wall here, turning horizontal here, where not only the layered hydraulic fracturing is administered, but also the vertical crushing. These two methods can be compared to either tearing pages from the book, one after another, or just tearing these pages in half, tearing through them. The force applied should be considerable, reaching 1,500 atmospheres, which could only be considered safe at a depth of 6,000 meters of rock layer, the equivalent of about 15,000 meters of water column. So we get three main factors which form the ecological and geological influence on the geological environment. The first factor is the energy blow occurring in the process of hydraulic fracturing. It leads to earthquakes, which has been confirmed even by the United States specialists. The second factor is pumping in great amounts of liquid with up to 500 chemicals in it. The toxic qualities of such solution, or its stability in the deep horizons conditions, have not been explored sufficiently. Here's another related consequence. According to the United States specialist claims, 80% of the chemical solution gets pumped out, back to the surface, but 20% remains in the shale gas horizon that previously had been literally torn apart. Under the influence of natural tectonic processes, this poisonous mixture can reach freshwater horizons. Apart from this, we need to remember that this is fresh water, whose density is smaller than that of water deep underground, which has 300 grams of minerals per liter. Water of deep horizons has a 20% higher density than regular fresh water. Light liquid has a tendency of an upward drift in heavy liquid. It would be a long-term, slow ascent, but in 30-50 years' time, the fracking fluids could reach the freshwater zones. This is why this new shale gas extraction technology needs the most serious and thorough ecological justification, in my opinion. Let's not forget that in the past, specialists from the Academy of Sciences, Ministry of Geology of Ukraine, together with the specialists from the USSR Ministry of Geology, raised the issue of nuclear power plants' safety on the territory of Ukraine. As a result, it was because of these geological reasons that the nuclear power plants in Crimea and in Odessa region were closed down by the decision of the Politburo of the Soviet Union Communist Party. I have experience of applying hydraulic fracturing while setting up the filter barriers in western Donbass. I have gone through the first stage of Chernobyl since the 28th of April 1986. I know the price of applying modern scientific developments or neglecting them. The thing is, in such cases, the development of protective means and measures should come first, before fracking. During the times of the USSR, professors from the Dnipropetrovsk Mining Institute, who have my deepest respect, while working on virgin lands, changing the course of rivers, developing power plants and regulating Dnieper, have taught us the following thing. All political decisions, and applying fracking is in fact a geopolitical decision, that may lead to higher energy independence, need to be safe in the first place. This means that if this project is to take place, We need to provide solid environmental justification here and now. If we talk about numbers and what they mean, I managed to get the figures on risks that the Americans had on Marcellus Shale, their most successful gas field. They had 3 major breakdowns for 1,000 wells. It seems that the risks are minor here, just 3 of 1,000. But if we look at the area that has been polluted because of these 3 breakdowns, underground water pollution, freshwater pollution at smaller depths, we will see that this polluted area covers 50% of the whole Marcellus area, 100 square kilometers. One more thing to consider. Let's remember France, Bulgaria and other countries. Of course, nuclear power lobby was there, no doubt about it. However, the underground fresh water is closer to shale gas areas there. Therefore, the dangers of applying fracking are higher. Moreover, there are different types of tectonics: saline tectonics, directed tectonics, and there are local sources influencing earthquakes. We need to remember that on the territories of both Ukraine and Russia there were landfills for poisonous liquids. This toxic waste was placed deep underground. Now, take Denver State in the USA, not far from the town of Denver, where there were earthquakes. In that place, toxic liquids, like those just mentioned, rose from the depth to the surface and contaminated drinking water horizons and surface water. This waste came up from the depth of 1.5 kilometers, even though it took 30 to 50 years.
Oksana Hrabkova, Ukrainian National News. You talked about the state of water and the probability of using old, being used before technologies in Ukraine as opposed to newer and safer ones. How and to what extent will this influence the quality of water in the country, where this quality is not so good even now?
Let me answer. I would say that even with all the positive characteristics of water cleaning, reducing its influence on surface water, with 80% of water being pumped out back to the surface, it would definitely be an extra technogenic load on the water exchange, including that of underground water with surface water and also on all local surface water. As I said, serious scientific evaluations, calculations of both risk and environmental impact should be conducted in the first place. So far, there haven't been any in Ukraine. What we see there is only the process of justification in progress.